Hello and welcome to In Conversation with WLV Doctoral College. I'm Deborah Curitan and I'm the Research Development Manager at the University of Wolverhampton.
And I'm Dr. Ben Halligan, I'm Director of the Doctoral College.
This vlog we're going to talk about writing academic papers and why it's useful to do so. So Ben, this was your idea.
That first academic paper, the first publication, often very important for a number of reasons, which I'll just quickly run through. I think it's important for CV reasons. If you're looking for an academic job, they will want to know a PhD has been completed or nearly completed. They may want a bit of teaching experience, but they would like a publication and maybe one in the pipeline, because this demonstrates that you're going to publish your work, that more is going to come. It gives them confidence to know that you will develop as an academic. So you need to have broken through that barrier and getting the first publication down. So in CV terms, very useful, very important. Also, I think in terms of establishing yourself, you then are the person that wrote this thing that was published in this journal or in this book at that date. So you're kind of somebody.
Yeah.
And your work is out there for everybody in the world. And it's not just in your thesis, it's not just within a group of friends that you're talking about or your research community, it's actually out there. I mean, I don't want to make light, it's difficult to get that first publication.
Yeah.
These things can take time, but it says that you are the person who has done this, which leads me to the third useful thing, which is therefore you can be the first person to have said what you said in the article. Within PhD research, obviously, you're generating new knowledge, and there's often a tension that you're worried that somebody else, somewhere else in the world, is doing the same thing as you. They're going to beat you to the punch. They're going to be the person who was the first person to publish this big idea or this data or what have you. When it's down with your name on it, you're the owner of that particular idea, and other people will come and they will say similar things, but you were the first, and it therefore allows you to make your mark in that respect as well. And so it should allow you to gain confidence to be somebody who is a researcher and to have that out in the wider world. And these are very useful, powerful things.
So if you publish something while you're doing your PhD, you can put that into your appendix of your doctorate, can't you? So that actually says to your examiners, my work has been peer reviewed, and my work has been positively peer reviewed. So these people have liked it so much that they've published it in their journal. So that's a really good signal to your examiners.
It's a very, and I think typically people will take chapter 4, will sort of bookend it somewhat, write it in a more understandable way for a journal, and then that will be 6,000-7,000 word article, or who knows, and then that will be published. So there will be a variant of your work in a journal, but the original version that may be quite different by the time you finish your PhD will be in your thesis. So very typically you would have a footnote or a note in the acknowledgements or the introduction saying a variation of this chapter 4 was published in the journal of whatever. So that says exactly as you say to examiners and a viva that this has been peer reviewed, deemed to be good work for this good journal, it's been published. That should reassure. It should reassure examiners and a viva. Alternatively, it may prompt them to have a higher level of scrutiny, but it should reassure them.
But it means that actually that what you've published, or that part of the PhD, is meeting one of the learning outcomes of a doctorate, which is this needs to be of a publishable quality.
Yes. So you've proven that.
Yeah.
And it can be, also a matter of showing the examiners that you are able to write in a PhD manner, but also to turn this work into a series of articles. And I think when they think about the work that you've done, they may then come back and say, we would like to suggest further articles in these areas, or this would absolutely be good for a book, or you could extend it. So it kind of opens up another layer of conversation, which is about the use of your work in the wider academic community, rather than here's a thesis, it meets the criteria, so we'll award it on those criteria.
Okay. So there's having a journal, doing that first journal article is important for your CV. It's important for your doctorate. Do you think it's important for the PGR in terms of their confidence?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. And because you'll meet people that say, "Oh, you wrote that article," and articles have a strange afterlife.
Yeah.
My first publication, I think, was 97 or 98, so a long time ago. I was basically a child when I wrote it. But it's nice to know it's kind of been out there. And, occasionally people refer to it, and I mean, you look back and you think, well, there's an argument to wait, isn't there? I mean, if you're in your mid-20s and you're in the first year of the PhD, probably what you're writing won't be as good as what it would be 4 or 5 years down the line. So in a way, maybe there's a good argument to wait, but then I think you can be fairly modest. You don't have to write the article that's going to change the entire disciplinary field. It can often be, here's an unknown element, no one's really talked about it, let me approach it. And journals are very much up for that kind of thing. And they're very much up as well for new researchers, and not just the usual names and professors, but here's an introduction of a new person and their ideas into the wider research community.
That's often where students will publish their literature reviews.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes if you have got a paper published and then you're going to a conference to talk about it, you can say that, okay, I'm giving a presentation about a piece of research that I've had published in this journal, which sort of gives you the opportunity to start that presentation with some level of credibility.
I know students feel confident about this because they will tell everybody. They will say, well, of course, in my article that was published in this journal, and they'll meet somebody new, and within 2 minutes they've mentioned it, or a clicker comes through and they, let me just put some copies of my new journal article here, and so they're rightly proud about it. So it must be confidence boosting and empowering.
Yeah. So good for your CV, good for your confidence, good for your Viva.
And in terms of good, one other point. In terms of good for a CV, I've said already that it shows potentially interviewers for a job that you can publish, that you could be entered for the Research Excellence Framework assessment. But even if you're going into a non-academic role after your PhD, which is true in the majority of cases, it shows that you've navigated a system successfully and you've written something coherent and of a quality that's publishable. And in any line of work, that's an absolute bonus and benefit, isn't it? But
then people are publishing in all fields. I mean, I'm on a board of governors at a school, and the principal at the school that I work at came bouncing into a governors meeting saying, I've published a paper, we've been published, and we've presented at this conference. So it's, it is expected, it's becoming more the norm in quite a lot of other fields as well as academia. And there are practitioner journals anyway, so just because you don't work in academia doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be publishing beyond your doctorate.
But I could think of a situation in which, in a certain job it may be important to write reports of complexity and detail and drawing on research and things like that. So to have had 1 or 2 articles already published really speaks to that particular need for an employer. So it's terribly useful in that respect as well.
Brilliant. So it's good for your CV, it's good for your confidence, it's good for your PhD, and it doesn't necessarily stop when you finish your doctorate, even if you're not working in academia.
Absolutely.
So thank you for listening. If you have any ideas for videos that you'd like us to do, topics that you'd like us to cover, please put them into the comments below. Do follow us. We release vlogs every week on a Friday. So if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get a notification to say when a new vlog is released. So thank you for listening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.